People who don't ever want to have kids, why? Being a parent is too important to do a shit job at it. If you can't give it the energy it requires, don't sign up for it. My parents didn't have the energy, patience, or personality for it. It was hell. I don't have it either, wouldn't do it to a child that deserves better than that, like I deserved better too. Same. My whole childhood I could never understand why the hell my parents had kids. They always acted as if the basic parenting things they did for my siblings and me, buy us school clothes or make us food or take us to the doctor, were a huge burden to them. I think I'd be a better parent than my parents were, but I still don't want to bring kids into the world after the kind of parenting that was modeled for me. I absolutely love my life just as it is. Plus, I am of the opinion that you should really want kids before you have them. It's a lifetime commitment, after all. Absolutely to that second sentence. Kids should be a hell yes decision, not a, well give it a try and see how it goes. It's a kid, not a juice cleanse. I can't even care for a houseplant. Holy duck my plants. I can do normal. But I don't know how to holy. I cannot afford a child. I got pretty far before finding someone mentioning money. I don't think I can financially afford having a child within the next 5, maybe 10 years. And then I might need to leave my successful career to even have children, which I don't think I'll want to do. I am single, living alone and living paycheck to paycheck as it is. Having a child would have me crying trying to give little tot everything they deserve, and right now I would majorly struggle with that. Too much responsibilities. I can't even take care of my own ass. Right? We have to work our asses off our whole lives barely getting time to take care of ourselves, and kids? No way. When you add up the expense of sacrificing your life, time, and money into building someone else's life, only to launch them into the dystopian future that we are facing, well then, remaining childless has its perks. Personally, I just enjoy the freedom of not having them too much. You can't miss what you never had. I always tell people I'm too selfish for kids because I feel this way as well. I don't feel like Therese any shame in confessing that. I like my vacations. I like my peace and quiet. I like not having someone else's life and well-being depend on me. I'm selfish, and I'm okay with it. My honest answer is simply, I don't think I could handle it. I just don't have the constitution for child rearing. I would mess them up, and go insane myself along the way. I'd rather not take a chance on passing on whatever the hell is going on in my head. Quite simply, it doesn't appeal to me. No regrets. No rugrats. I like to sleep in on weekends. Or, in general. Or, forever. This curse ends with me. Too much responsibility. I also really love my freedom. Also, money is nice to have. Sleep is nice too. Some people with kids never stopped and asked themselves this question. And that's why a lot of us are here today. My parents never thought of it as an option. It's just what you did after you got married. They definitely shouldn't have been parents. Yep, same. My parents got married in the mid-1950s. My mother already had a history of mental illness, never should have had kids. But nobody gave it any thought back then. Fellow 1950s baby. My mother's family is rife with mental illness and my father's family were alcoholics, and I truly wish they considered their choices with some seriousness. I grew up in a Tennessee Williams play. I was the third of 7 children. We were raised in our mother's in-home daycare. I knew by the time I was 13 that I'd never have kids. I am now 60 and still child-free. P.S. Yes, this stance did end more than one relationship. The parentification of children in large families is atrocious. I hear people praise it as the older kids are so well-behaved and great to help out, and am sitting there thinking about all the childhood shit they don't get to do because from the time they were 10 they had to share parenting responsibility. As a child, I was essentially a parent to my baby brother. When he was a toddler, he called me mommy. I have always loved my brother dearly, but I harbor a lot of resentment towards our parents for shouldering me with so much responsibility. The middle child, me other brother, didn't have to lift a finger to help out, and our parents were completely useless. Baby brother was an oopsie, so I was forced to take over as soon as I got home from school each day. Had this exact same situation happen to me. I was 16 when my youngest brother was born and he also called me mom. First frown, I felt terrible moving out, but I had to get away from it all. Now they use my little sister to fill my role and it makes me feel worse. I felt terrible moving out, but I had to get away from it all. Now they use my little sister to fill my role and it makes me feel worse. It's not your fault. I know you're not asking for reassurance, but recognizing a situation is not working for you and to then give yourself what you need is the best thing you can do for anybody. Only by first taking care of yourself can you give your best self to others. Almost all of women in my family have had hemorrhages, miscarriages, premature births, you name it. I almost killed my mom coming out of the womb and then I myself almost died because of liver disease in the months that followed. I'm not risking myself like that. Pregnancy and childbirth, even postpartum, are so dangerous. Lots of women go through so much trauma and never talk about it. Postpartum is very isolating. I'm almost 3 months postpartum and am so thankful my husband recognized the signs of postpartum depression and really pushed me to get therapy before things got bad. I'm in a better place now, but every day is a work in progress. Never wanted them. Being pregnant sounds like a nightmare, as does my entire life revolving around someone else. 247. Speaking as a person who has always wanted kids and has kids, you are completely right. Pregnancy is awful, raising a kid is hard. It should only be for people who really want to make a new person. I don't regret having children at all, but I would never wish this on a person who wasn't 100% sure about it. I don't like being alive enough to put someone in the same situation. 0 desire the thought of having to teach them how to eat, talk, potty train them, etc., 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 etc. Nah, it isn't for me. God bless everyone who does have them. But nope. Not for me. They are sticky and they scream. In my mind it would be like taking care of a small drunk person. 247. Yes. A toddler is a lot like a drunk person that tells the same joke over, thinks they're hilarious, poops themselves. Bad genes. Same, a large amount of problems in my life have been contributed by my genetics. Why would I want to pass that crap on to someone I'm supposed to love? If I really want a kid, I'll adopt, and if I don't qualify for adoption, I'm not ready for a kid anyways. Got the mental illness, I need quiet and routine and also space. Also, my sibling has kids, so I will just spoil the shit out of them instead. Yeah, I'm more than happy to be the aunt that showers my nephews and niece with gifts. I'm very close with my niece in particular. My brother has also just announced that he and his fiancée are expecting and babies due 2 days before my birthday. I hope they're born on my birthday so I have an excuse to spoil them more. I was abused as a kid and I don't think I'd be a very good parent. This makes sense. In the Big Brothers Big Sisters program, my big brother said he didn't want to have kids for the same reason. He just wanted to help a couple kids have good role models. He was cool. I like this dude. I was pretty quiet as an early teen. He was patient with me as I never really gave feedback in any way. Unless you know me well, I rarely look excited. When I was 18, I went and visited him and told him thanks and that I had fun with him for that year. He was super glad I visited. I had no idea you had fun. You never told me. I've tried to find him since to say hey and tell him about my life, but haven't yet. Now is the perfect time to try again and tell him what you told us. No pressure if that is too much, I am awful at that myself, but try to encourage it whenever I can. I've been trying. Maybe it is time to really look. Honestly, from as young as I can remember, I just knew. I was never interested. My mom would talk about when you were a mom and I was always saying I don't want kids. She would talk about how amazing it is to be a mom and how happy she is that she had me. I thank her every time she says that. Even after I grew up and had relationships where my partner expected us to marry and have kids, it was a no. Mom, Dad and his parents were all you'll change your mind as soon as you hold your baby, it was still a hard no. It was simply never something I wanted. I ended relationships with some amazing men, who were happy about my no kids stance at the start, who have gone on to find partners and now are happy in their relationships and who have kids. I'm happy for them. It was simply never a thing for me. The more people tried to coerce me into having kids, the harder I fought. No, I'm not a lesbian. No, there is nothing wrong with me. No, I don't want to have kids to look after me when I'm old. Really? There were lots of fights, questions of why? What's wrong with me? I'm too old to have kids now, And I'm glad I never caved to the pressure. There are many people who are happy, maybe with a mixed family, and it works for them. I'm happy for them. I have never been anti-kid. It was never a financial lifestyle choice for me. It was always simply, no.